honourable member Farhead, Northville, Westlock.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Historically, Alberta has had a strong economy, with workers travelling from other jurisdictions to take opportunity of our well-paying jobs. Data from the federal government shows our province has fewer work stoppages and lost days of work relative to the rest of Canada. But this government claims a need to undertake a review of our Labour Relations Code, risking our labour peace. Will the minister please explain to Albertans what is wrong with our current labour relations laws to warrant a review while Albertans need jobs and a stable economy? Is this review just to appease organised labour?
The Honourable Minister of Labour.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Standing up for families means making sure that Albertans have access to fair and family-friendly workplaces. We have workplace legislation in this province that has not been updated in decades. Making sure that Albertans are able to take advantage of things like bereavement leave or being able to take a day off to attend a funeral, items that other Canadians have, is something I want to talk to Albertans about. This is an important conversation to have because having workplace legislation decades out of date is not reasonable.
Thank you. First supplemental.
Mr. Speaker, given that this government has mandated Andrew Sims to assist the Labour Ministry in carrying out this review, and given that Mr. Sims already carried out an extensive review of our labour laws and his report was published in 2014, given that stakeholders asked the government not to implement the recommendations contained within that report, will the minister please explain why they are hiring Mr. Sims, a recent large donor to the NDP, to write another report? What will be different this time, and how is the minister ensuring Mr. Sims will return an independent report?
Honourable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I'm very proud to have Mr. Andrew Sims assisting us. This is a very important labour lawyer in the Alberta labour relations community that the previous government also relied on for information. In 2014, he reviewed the construction section of the Labour Relations Code, not the entire Labour Relations Code. We have asked him to take a targeted review because it's important that Albertans are able to trust and rely that we have workplace legislation that will work for themselves and their families.
Second supplemental.
Mr. Speaker, given that this government's online survey to solicit feedback from the public is only on the employment standards portion of this labour review and not on labour relations, and given that the decisions made about these laws have the potential to disrupt labour peace in this province, given that this review has employers and workers worried what this review means for their futures, will the minister please tell us the criteria to receive an invitation to engage with Mr. Sims on these important matters, and what is she doing to ensure the whole review process is fair and transparent?
The Honourable Minister of Labour.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Alberta businesses deserve laws that help them to attract the best and the brightest. Our legislation is out of date and out of practice with other jurisdictions. We need to make sure that Albertans are engaged in this process, and I invite all Albertans to come to the website to fill out the information, the survey, or to provide their thoughts on labour legislation. We will be contacting stakeholders and setting up meetings, and I will be making sure that all of the information submitted to the review is taken into account. It is puzzling to me that the opposition does not want us to engage in a consultation with Albertans. Then again, this is the opposition that would roll back minimum wage.